Hello, my name is Arthur, and in this video we're going to look at my little flag navigation system here and try to make it a little bit better. So what I want to do is I want to make it so flags highlight with the unit they belong to, and then make them deletable so we can delete flags and have them come from the unit's position pathway, so that the path that he's on is editable after it's made. So that's what I'm looking to do. This is likely to get a little bit dicey because script is getting a little confusing now. So some of this has gotten a little bit confusing, and my scripting is not that great. So some things are not organized probably in the best way. But if we can look past that, I can probably get this to work. So let's start off with the flag. We're going to need to change the flag. So we're going to disconnect its signal as the first thing. And I find that signals get stuck, so if I start changing things around and ignore a signal and erase it by changing the nature of something or deleting it, that sometimes Godot throws an error about a signal or non-existent signal or something like that. So we'll need the script. Let's see. Yeah, we got lots of changes to make here. So what we're going to do is we're going to, first off, we're going to change the type. So we're going to change it from an area to a static body. Now, we want it to measure as a static body, and we want to be able to tell what we're clicking on to be able to select it. So we're going to add it to a group flag. So that body is in a group flag. Now, we're going to need an area, because an area is part of how the flag is taken away when the Jeep or the tank comes up to it. So we're going to move this collision shape into the area, and then we'll re-hook up the signal. So we'll put the body entered signal, connect, and we'll just change the name here so that it matches up with the old method, which should be on flag body entered. So that leaves our function the way that it was. So now we need a collision shape for the static body. So we'll put in a collision shape, we'll make it a cube shape, and we'll put that shape on top of the flag. So if we click the flag, we'll be clicking on the static body, and because it's in the group flag, we'll be able to sort out what we're clicking on, and that will be the method we use to select it. So selecting a flag will be done by clicking on the cloth flag part. So this is going to take a little bit of weaseling around, because when I modeled the flag, it's not completely on an axis. So we can leave it chubby a bit, or we can rotate it a bit. Honestly, that'll work just the way that it is. That'll be clickable. And yeah, maybe we'll slim it down and rotate it a little bit, just for the sake of making sure that selecting a flag is a specific click. Like, you have to hit the flag, not over it and under it and stuff. Okay, so to make it selectable, we'll need a select mesh. So we'll add in a mesh instance. We'll call it selected, just like on the tag body. This one will make a cylinder mesh, and we'll change its size. So its height will be 0.3, and its two radiuses will be 0.3 and 0.3. And that'll just make it like a little cylinder at the base of the flag. So something like that. And if we wanted, we could taper the top of the top radius some. Like we could put this down to 0.1 and it might look better. Might look nicer that way. So we'll do that. That looks okay. Now we need a material. So we'll do a new spatial material. Click on it. Flags, transparent, albedo. I saved the green color from the tank select mesh, so we can use that. We'll dial back the alpha, and then we'll set the emission to on. Pick the same color, and that looks pretty good. We could brighten it up a bit, but we'll just see how this looks. That looks fine. And we're going to leave that selected by default, because when the flag drops, the unit is selected. And when the unit is deselected, it's going to deselect all of its flags. So in order to do that, we have to change the way that the flag passes itself. So let's get into the script. First off, we're going to need to, let's steal this function. So we're just gonna copy this function and give it to the flag. So let's just make a space up here for all of our new functions. So now it can be selected. And what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to change this, because when the flag gets cleared, is going to become pretty important. So we'll make a function for removing the flag. And we'll just put pass into that one for now. So what we're going to want to do here is we're going to change what happens when change the way the unit handles flags. So instead of getting a destination, let's set unit flags, and instead of passing it a position, we're going to pass it the flag. And this is the reason why we don't want to willy-nilly use queue-free, because there's going to be a reference floating around for the flag in the tank and in the world scripts. So we have to be very specific about when the flag gets queue-freed, otherwise we're going to get null instance type of errors. Okay, so now we're passing the flag instead of a position. So we changed this to set unit flags. We'll change this to body. We'll change this to body. And body is the word we use to recognize that we're passing a static body reference, the same as on body entered. Now for unit path, let's change this variable's name, because it's not going to be that anymore. So if we go into search here, we can replace all instances of unit path. So let's change it to unit flags. So we'll replace all instances of unit paths. We can close that up, and now they're all going to say unit flags. So now we're pushing in a reference. So if units flags, this is where we get our destination. So destination used to be popped out of the front of the array, because those were destinations. Now instead, what we're going to do, instead of popping it out, we're not going to remove it from the array here. We're going to reference the first index, which is 0, and then get its global transform dot origin. So now we're getting the global transform from the first flag in the array. And then what we're going to need is a function to remove unit flags. Function remove unit flags body. Okay, sorry, I got a little interruption there, so we'll edit that out of the video because I don't want to remake this video again. So, function remove unit flags body will go var delete equals unit flags dot find body. And then unit flags dot remove that reference. So yeah, that finds the index in unit flags where body resides and then removes that index. So if body is in index 1, it will return 1, and then it will remove index 1. So that's how that works. So let me see, I got thrown a little bit off by my interruption here. So where that's going to happen is on body entered remove flag. So it's going to go flag owner dot remove unit flags, and really I should just copy and paste that because it's more reliable. And then here it's also going to be doing the same thing with the world script. So what we'll do is we'll make an onReady var world equals get parent, and here will be world dot remove flag. So we want that to happen first. Now we're going to make a function specific die, and this is where we'll call queueFree to get rid of that. So with this order of things, the last person to be passed the reference is the tank. So on remove unit flags, what'll happen is it will call body dot die. So the tank will be responsible for getting rid of all of the flags. Yeah, it won't matter how that happens, whether it happens by us deleting it or it getting deleted. Okay, so the next thing along the line here is selected. So when we select our tank, we're going to if unit flags dot size is greater than 0 for index in unit flags, index dot selected equals value. So just like this functions, if if the vehicle's being deselected, the flags will be deselected. If the vehicle's being selected, the flags will be selected. So that should get everything working for selecting the flag. Now we'll just put in an empty function. Until we have the functionality to remove flags, to erase flags. And then we should be ready to test. So just one little look over that. Everything seems correct here. And I guess we'll find out here. So let's just run it and find out. It's usually faster to just run into the error than to look for it before you run into it. So that's not so bad. They deselect, they reselect. So now the next challenge is to make them deletable. So that's entirely going to happen in the world. So let's take our scene variable and let's change it to flag scene. So that only has one instance down here, flag scene. And then we can add in a variable flag. Now here we'll go if result dot collider dot is in group flag. If is in group flag, flag equals result dot collider and flag dot selected true. Now I think if we go and we change these to elifs, so these will be elif, elif, and elif, elif flag, flag dot selected false, whoops, and flag equals null. Then if event pressed and unit, we're going to change this. We're going to go if event pressed, then we'll go if unit, and tab this in. If or elif, if flag, flag, Let's see. Flag dot remove flag. Here, I believe flag equals null. So we tell the flag to remove the flag. The flag tells the world to remove the flag. And I think that covers all of the different circles. Yeah, this part is a little confusing because there's a few little circles where we can run into null references. But if everything is worked right here, I think this covers all of the different directions that a flag can end up disappearing. So let's just see if the flags become selectable. So right now we can't select a flag because the unit is selected. Did the last flag just disappear? I gotta try that again. Looked like the last flag disappeared. No, it didn't. Now we should be able to select a flag, deselect the flag. We're free on the mouse button, no errors. Select a flag, erase a flag. It's not erasing. So that was close. Let's see what happens now. Okay, we didn't get any null reference, but it didn't erase. If flag, flag, remove flag. Flag, remove flag. Maybe this is supposed to be an LF, though I don't really see where that would make a difference. I really expected this would work, and I wouldn't end up struggling too much. I don't like to struggle on my videos. Okay, it just needed to be an LF. So let's select one that is going to disappear, just to check different contingencies, because we got an error check, and this is a likely way to run into a null instance. So let's try this one. I'll just use deselect. So I tried to deselect something that was erased. That didn't happen. So the reference is being removed. Now I tried to erase it. So yeah, this seems to be functioning, and that was relatively painless. Looking at this, I think there is actually a mistake that I missed here. So let's just test that theory. I think that if I select this and it deletes that, then I'm going to lose control over this because I wasn't specific enough. So what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to pass a reference here and then go if flag is equal to body, then flag equals null, because we want to make sure that the one we're deleting is the one that got removed, because that's not necessarily the case at this point. So in flag, we have to pass self and be specific about what flag to remove. So now it will only remove the flag if that's the one that's going to be about to be removed from the tree with the queue free. So now that should work properly. And that should be the last potential bug, hopefully. So we'll select this one. And I can still delete it, so I haven't lost control. And then we'll just look at that in this way. So we can select his path, we can select his path, we can delete from any path. So that's working pretty good. I'm pretty satisfied with that, and in the next video I'm going to figure out the turret going home, returning to its home position, so pointing back at the front of the tank when it has no target. And then it'll be time to look at an enemy tank and see what we can do with that. So until then, I hope this was helpful, and take care.